guys, it's Jessie and it's time for your weekly book chat. So, my old lady heart sings at this. Avatar: The Last Airbender is back with a fiery passion. Netflix top 10 forever. So I've watched the series 3 times and I have no shame. I watched it when it first came out, I watched it later, and then of course I rewatched it recently because it's one of the all-time greatest shows ever made. You've got everything you need. You've got spirituality, you've got action, you've got adventure, you've got laughs, you've got a little bit of romance, every single thing you need. Like, it's a deep dive and it's also a shallow watch. Whatever you want at that moment, it's brilliant. So if you're like me, you've already watched all of them, and you're like, okay. I've also watched Korra, which we have on DVD at the library and you can check out through curbside pickup. But here are some books that are very similar and will satisfy that Avatar appetite. So the first one, we're going to talk about some elemental magic in YA, okay? So we've got Roar. This one has more romance than Avatar. It's not a kid's show, so of course it has more romance. So it's got romance and elemental magic. Chick does storm magic, you guys. So much fun. This is a series. It's really fun. You're gonna enjoy all the moments. She's just a rockin' storm magic woman. And you're like, yes, do it, girl. So that one's really good. Then, anything within the Grisha universe. This is also elemental magic, very different from Roar. This is a little closer to Avatar: The Last Airbender style, though it doesn't have the cool, like, movements described as well as Avatar. Because, you know, Avatar, they actually use real kung fu. This is more Russian based, okay? So we've got Russia and Slavic influences coming through this one. Really interesting stuff though. People have one thing that they can do and they do it really well and they have an army of these people. And the first series is the Grisha series and you've got the light girl and the dark guy and who's in love with who. But the romance is not overwhelming. It's just enough that you're like, okay, cool. And then you're like, yes, kill all the people, girl. But it's not overly violent. It's that perfect mix of Avatar: The Last Airbender movement. So anything in the Grisha series is gonna be good. This is the second series. This is Six of Crows. It's in the same world, very fun, and currently on our shelf, so get it through curbside. Then let's move on to Chinese gods. Yes, okay. So Avatar obviously takes place in a knockoff China world, right? This is really cool. It's about a schoolgirl and she has to battle demons, which is not very Avatar, except it kind of is, right? When he goes into the spirit world all the time and they're aggro spirits and he has to take care of them, like the panda who comes back later, you know? Yeah, tying it all together for you. You're right. This one's really cool. She gets these divine powers. Then in the second one that just came out, the gods are coming in like full force, Chinese style, and you're like, what? Lots of action, lots of good times. Very Avatar feel in the world that's created. Okay, if you're like me, you're a fan of Kyoshi, because everyone is, because Kyoshi's awesome. Hello, Mulan. Obvious connection, right? So like Mulan, I'm sure inspired Kyoshi. We don't know Mulan's shoe size like we do Kyoshi's, but this book, you guys, such a good read, such a good telling of Mulan. Even if you're like me and you grew up on that kind of lesser than let's get down to business to defeat the Huns version of Mulan, which is still great and I love, like real hardcore, but this is like genuine Mulan. This is more of what Kyoshi would be inspired by. Or, you know, who came first, Mulan or Kyoshi? Obviously Mulan, but just thought. Also, for those Sokka fans out there, there's a really great book that I don't have on me, but you can see it right here, called Sidekicks. Really, really fun. Like, if you like humor, you like Sokka, you like all the craziness that he brings as someone in a world full of people with great powers and yet you don't have it, you gotta read Sidekicks. It's such a good time. You're gonna have to get in the hold line for it because it's checked out a lot, but it's definitely worth checking out. Also, if none of these are working for you, you have a few options. I always want to remind you, get on the website, find our reader advisory form, fill it out, send me an email, and I will hook you up with exactly the right book for you. Whichever. You can also go on our website and go to Hoopla Digital and find all of the Avatar: The Last Airbender comics. They're great. We find out what happens to Zuko's mom. Oh, so good. So you can find Avatar and Legend Korra comics that continue after the story. There's some stellar writing in there. Unless you're a big Toph fan, which I am because she's my favorite, those are not as good. Forewarning. Otherwise, go check those out. And we'll see you next week.